This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You are watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Right, so Tyson Fury has blamed his so-called world-class lawyers as the reason why he lost the Deontay Wilder arbitration case. And much like Frank Warren has, much like Bob Arum has, even Shelley Finkel from Deontay Wilder's side has as well, all have to be mentioned in the name of Eddie Hearn. Tyson Fury is no exception when it comes to trying to shift the blame onto Eddie Hearn. And this is what Tyson Fury had to say about Eddie Hearn. Every Saturday, he announced that the Joshua fight will be finalised next week. Pretty stupid, all about ego. Then it's egg on face. That's what happens when you talk too much. Tyson Fury's statement, where he spoke to the Mail Sport. M-A-I-L Sport, for those who don't know. Now, was all of this about blaming Eddie Hearn? Was all of this about trying to make Eddie Hearn look incompetent? Look like he ain't that good? Look like he can't get things done? Is that what it was always about? Because that's the impression that I'm getting. It was all about teaching Eddie Hearn a lesson, but inevitably taking the boxing fans for a ride along the way, wasting everybody's time because he always wanted to blame Eddie Hearn. Even during the whole negotiations, Team Fury was saying, Eddie Hearn, he's talking too much, he can't get the fight done. There's not enough money out there. It's all complete bullshit. There's no way that Eddie Hearn can deliver on his promises. There's no way he can do it. He's going to fail. This fight with Joshua isn't going to happen. It's not our fault. It's because Eddie Hearn couldn't get it done. Then suddenly, Eddie Hearn, he is getting it done. Uh-oh. Well, it's because Eddie Hearn spoke too much. That's why the judge ruled in Deontay Wilder's favour. Oh, so the judge, the former judge even, the adjudicator of the arbitration case, Daniel Weinstein, is quite clearly unprofessional then. If he ruled in favour of Deontay Wilder because he didn't like the way that Eddie Hearn was speaking about getting the undisputed fight on, what? So he's incompetent, yeah? He's not a upstanding kind of guy who's working within the law. Is that what you're telling us? I do get the impression that Team Fury, this was always about blaming Eddie Hearn. The Deontay Wilder 3 fight was always going to happen. Because if you notice, not one of them is taking any kind of blame. Not one of them has apologised to the boxing fans. Has apologised to Anthony Joshua. Has apologised to Eddie Hearn. They all want to shift blame. Not one of them is taking responsibility for the fact that it was Fury who walked away from the contract in the beginning. There's no, oh, yeah, I'm sorry about that. I thought that we could, but clearly we couldn't. Nobody is apologising to the boxing fans for stringing everybody along. Nobody within Team Fury seems upset about the fact that Tyson is going to be earning, 10, maybe 20 million at best to be fighting Deontay Wilder for a third time. People, for the most part, not interested in that fight. So the numbers ain't going to be that great. They're not going to earn as much money as what they hoped that they were going to make. So you're going to earn 10, maybe $20 million to fight Deontay Wilder for a third time, rather than go earn a minimum $75 million to take on Anthony Joshua. 4 undisputed, rising up to in the region of $100 million. I don't know about you lot, I'll be pissed. I'll be angry about it. But instead you've got Tyson Fury, the day after the ruling, running around the ESPN studio celebrating the fact that he's fighting Deontay Wilder. All happy about it. Didn't even try to negotiate with Deontay Wilder about paying him some kind of step-aside money. Because again, according to Bob Arum, he said that, again, when I interviewed Bob Arum, even though he did say on numerous occasions that the undisputed fight will not be affected no matter what happens in the arbitration case, i.e., even if Deontay Wilder wins the case, it's just going to be a case of Wilder will be awarded damages. And that's the impression that they were giving everybody. Just pay him some money, no problem, move on, and we're going to make serious money against Anthony Joshua. But yet, had they walked away, had they said to the judge, I ain't fighting him, you're a judge, or a former judge, you're an arbitrator. You can't force me to fight Deontay Wilder. But what would have happened? Would they have locked up Tyson Fury, put him in prison? No, of course not. They would have awarded Deontay Wilder damages. The judge can't strip Tyson Fury of the WBC belt because the WBC had nothing to do with this case. Mauricio Sulaimán said that they have nothing to do with this case. So Wilder would have won damages regardless. But the point is that Tyson Fury is taking zero responsibility for any of this. Absolutely none. Not one little bit. The whole thing, in my opinion, was a case of they were always going to be fighting Deontay Wilder. They recognised the fact that people weren't asking for this third fight. They recognised the fact that people are not interested in this third fight for the most part. So what are you trying to do? Build up a little bit of hype about it. Well, I really, really want the Anthony Joshua fight, boxing fans. I really, really want it. But I couldn't get it because Eddie Hearn, he couldn't get the fight over the line. Now Eddie Hearn could get the fight over the line. They're still trying to blame Eddie Hearn. That's the impression that I'm getting. The whole thing stinks. It really does stink. In fact, it's only really John Fury who seems genuinely upset about it all. Only John Fury, Tyson Fury's dad. He's the only one who's looking at it going, this ain't Eddie Hearn's fault. This ain't Anthony Joshua's fault. This is Team Fury's fault. This is Bob Arum's fault. This is Frank Warren's fault. This is Tyson Fury's fault. And as for Tyson Fury blaming his so-called world-class lawyers, well, have you fired them? Have you looked at your management team and went, hold up, you put these guys on my case. You were the ones who said I could walk away from this case. But you didn't. So what have you done about it? Have you thrown MTK against the wall? Was it Bob Arum? I don't know who it was. Who is taking the bullet for this? Nobody is taking the bullet for it. And the reason why nobody's taking the bullet for it is because it was always the plan to fight Deontay Wilder. But I don't understand why they're trying to blame Eddie Hearn for it. What's Eddie Hearn got to do with anything? What? It's his fault that he was trying to get the fight done? It's his fault that he was trying to get the most amount of money? It's what? It's his fault for doing his job. It's his fault because he believed what Team Fury were telling him. Go get this fight done. Don't worry about the Deontay Wilder arbitration. It's not going to affect it. Go out there and get it. So what? Eddie Hearn's not supposed to do that? Eddie Hearn's supposed to go, no, I ain't doing that. Because you know fine well that the boxing fans, the Tyson Fury fanatics, will be out there going, see, Anthony Joshua, he don't want the fight. Yada. Because that's what we've been hearing for months now. Anthony Joshua, he don't want the fight. He don't want none of the Gypsy King. He's the best heavyweight that has ever put on a pair of boxing gloves. Blah, 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 blah. He's a real Spartan. He's the warrior. Anthony Joshua, he's fake. The only person who's come up looking fake in this one is Tyson. And let's have it right. He's the only one who's looking really, really bad. They tried to make Eddie Hearn look bad, but instead they've made him look like he's the damn best on the planet, isn't he? That's what they've made him look like. It's all backfired. Not one of them has apologised to the boxing fans. Not one of them has said it's our fault why we lost. Not one of them has come out and even admitted, well, the third Deontay Wilder fight was always the plan. At least be man enough about it. Stop lying about shit. Stop lying about it. Anyway, that's my thoughts. You drop me yours. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you on the next video.